13 years ago, Capcom revolutionized the action-adventure world with the original Resident Evil, a title that would define an entirely new, rapidly emerging genre of games dubbed survival horror. Resident Evil 5, the latest offering in the long-running series, is a reinvention of the action-heavy formula of its forerunner, built from the ground up to support cooperative gameplay. Though it doesn't really count as a survival horror game any longer, Resident Evil 5 manages to retain and effectively translate that most important aspect of the genre, tension, into its new mechanics seamlessly, crafting a fun, collaborative experience that will keep you at the edge of your seat the entire time.
Freeze!
10 years after the destruction of Raccoon City, thanks to the biohazard initiated there by the sinister Umbrella Corporation, former STARS Alpha Team member Chris Redfield is an agent of the BSAA. This paramilitary anti-bioorganic weapon organization travels the globe to seek out and destroy Umbrella's creations, which have fallen into the hands of terrorists following the collapse of the multinational pharmaceuticals company. When Chris gets a tip that a known weapons dealer will be making a big deal in the remote African nation of Kijuju, he heads there to put a stop to it.
Welcome to Africa. My name is Sheva Alomar.
Chris Redfield.
Your reputation precedes you, Mr. Redfield. It's an honor.
Just Chris, thanks.
Chris is joined by Sheva Alomar, a local BSAA agent, and together they battle wave after wave of infected villagers, horribly mutated monsters, and even series arch-nemesis Albert Wesker, who is no longer content with manipulating pretty much everything from behind the scenes and takes center stage in his Matrix-inspired attire. The core combat mechanics haven't fundamentally changed since Resident Evil 4. Action still unfolds in an over-the-shoulder camera. Certain battles or cutscenes are accompanied by QuickTime events, and you still have to stop moving to line up your shots. Though you do gain a little bit more mobility thanks to your newfound ability to walk sideways. Despite this, battles still feel radically different. Chris and Sheva are partnered up the entire game, which greatly changes the way in which you tackle encounters.
Come on!
Roger.
More powerful enemies and bosses require teamwork to take down, and each character will need to watch the others back to make sure that they stay in good health.
Help me! I owe you one.
There have been radical changes to the inventory management system. Gone is the attaché case that Leon somehow magically carried around with him, and enemies no longer politely wait for you to rummage through your things for an instrument to end them with, as bringing up your armory no longer pauses the action. At any given time, you can only store up to 9 items per character, 4 of which are bound to the directions of the D-pad, and trading items back and forth with your partner is necessary. Having such a limited inventory forces you to be constantly mindful of how it's organized and to know which character has what at all times. Though you have quick and easy access to key items, everything else can only be used by bringing up your menu and sacrificing your precious time and mobility. This may seem off-putting, especially to first-timers who expect a Gears of War style run and gun game. But it does a wonderful job of keeping you in the action at all times and maintaining the high level of tension that the series is known for. This feeling of frequent anxiety is only further amplified by the constant waves of enemies that wax and wane with just the right regularity.
We need to get out of here.
From the very beginning of the game, you're assaulted from all directions by smarter, faster, and stronger infected, known as Magini, who come in a variety of shapes and sizes. Major encounters and boss fights are doled out with excellent pacing, and since you're never really sure what to expect around the corner, you've got to remain vigilant. As a game designed for co-op, Resident Evil 5 supports both split-screen and online play. When creating a single-player game, you have the option to allow other players to join on a free-for-all or invite-only basis, and searching for a game is easy with a variety of filter options available. Co-op isn't drop-in, so if someone joins, they have to sit on the sidelines until the host either restarts from the last checkpoint or continues on to the next. Another major point of contention is that players have their main inventories isolated from each other, and though you can trade healing items and ammunition, weapons are off-limit from exchange, making battles more difficult if you're playing with a less well-equipped partner. Though RE5 only clocks in at around 12 hours on the first playthrough, there's still plenty to see and do once you've beaten it. There are hidden BSAA badges scattered throughout each level to find, you can strive to get better scores or times to show up on the leaderboards, and there are 3 initial difficulties available. In-game points can be spent on collectible trophies of various characters and enemies, additional costumes, and special infinite ammo versions of fully upgraded guns. Finally, the Mercenaries minigame returns in a format very similar to the one found in Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 5 builds upon the foundations of its predecessor, but takes it in a drastically different direction. Having a partner adds an entirely new level of depth and greatly changes the way that battles are fought. And having to manage both Chris and Sheva's inventories in real time creates entirely new types of tension that heighten the experience. Ultimately, the slower, more deliberate movement and gunplay may not appeal to everyone, but if you're looking for a fun adventure with frequent, large-scale battles that you can bring a friend to, Resident Evil 5 is one game worth checking out.